Hello, friends. I hope that you are experiencing peace today and in this moment. For so many of us Christians who follow Christ, that gift of peace can often feel like it comes and goes. And it's become really clear to me in the recent weeks that it would be a great benefit to our souls and to our bodies and to our minds to rediscover the practice of Christian mindfulness, meditation, and contemplation. So hi, I'm Pastor Amie, and today's segment is only going to go over the basics of Christian mindfulness, particularly if this is a new practice to you, and lay the groundwork for the future sessions that you can grow into. A couple of guiding ideas for us as we engage in this practice. One of them is to release our expectations of doing things right and wrong. There's no right and there's no wrong. So much of the time, the ideas of right and wrong or do's and don'ts get so stuck in our heads, it keeps us from being able to appreciate the benefits of Christian meditation and mindfulness. So release yourself from the pressure of getting it right or wrong. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you can, find a quiet place. You may have a lot of noisemakers in the space where you are, but I encourage you to find a closet or a bathroom or anywhere that you can sort of retreat. This will be a very short practice, less than 5 minutes. So that is helpful if you are able to do that. And the third thing to remember is there's nothing about this that is trying to get people to become Buddhist or New Age. We respect you and your faith background, particularly if it's Christian, because everything we're going to do today is very much steeped in the Christian Bible and the Hebrew Jewish tradition that gave birth to this Christian movement. So don't be afraid of that. So as we enter into the basics of our Christian meditation and mindfulness practice, there are 3 things that are needed for this practice, and at any given time, no matter where we are, we have all 3 of these things right here and right now. They are your breath, your body, and the presence of God. So I invite you to settle in and get comfortable wherever you are. And I invite you to take a very long and slow, deep breath and blow it out. The ancient people knew very well that our breath intimately connects us with the divine, with God. In the Torah, in the book of Numbers, God is referred to more than once as the God who gives breath to all living things. As you continue to take slow and deep breaths, we take the oxygen in, we breathe slowly, we blow it out. Remember that the story of creation in our faith tradition is that God forms a human from the dust of the ground, and that it is the very breath of God that gives life to this human. It says God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And so as you continue to breathe and breathe deeply, remember that this is one of the most basic tools that connects us to God, no matter where we are, no matter what time of day it is, right here and right now. And the second thing needed is our bodies. As Westerners, often we are taught to retreat into our minds and to live in places that are far in the future or far in the past, or very, very analytical, or constantly dissecting information and processing and figuring things out. Continue to breathe slowly. But the whole point of mindfulness and meditation is to pull us into our bodies and to remember to be aware of our bodies. Our bodies are the vehicle that God has given us, the gift that God has given us to connect us to this present moment, and our bodies are the only tool, the only vehicle we have with which to encounter the divine at any given time. So as you continue to breathe, I invite you to become really aware of your precious, sacred body. Become aware of what your chest is doing as it rises and falls with each breath. Become aware, if you're sitting, of where your body is touching the chair or the couch, or your feet, where they are touching the floor. Feel free to put your attention on your body, starting on the top of your head, going down as like a quick scan of just being grateful for every square inch of your body and the gift that it is to you. Feel free to relax as you breathe out, and if there is something you notice that you're tensing up or holding on to, you can just relax, and as you breathe, let it go. And this is a time to remember another one of the basics. There are often times in meditation and mindfulness that we have unwanted thoughts that come. And maybe as you were doing a body scan, there's a part of your body that you aren't best friends with right now, that maybe bothers you. Maybe there's a pain. Maybe there's something that you don't like. You have a critical or judgmental attitude towards something about your body right now. Every time that I'm doing mindfulness or meditation here in the presence of God, please continue breathing slowly. I imagine a world where, sort of like a spaceship, and I'm an astronaut floating around, there are things that I can suspend for a moment to the best of my ability. So I invite you, just as gravity suspends things in air, I invite you to encourage yourself to suspend any worries, to suspend concerns, to suspend nagging thoughts, to suspend pressures or work or obligations or deadlines or judgments or critical thoughts. But just like in that spaceship, things kind of bounce around as you're practicing mindfulness and meditation. Often those things kind of slowly come back, and you have a choice. There's not a right or wrong. You have a choice to entertain those thoughts and to give space to them, or you have a choice to simply allow them to bounce back into this space. You don't have to claim them or hold on to them once again. So we'll continue to breathe, and remember, we have our body, we have our breath, and we also have the presence of God. The presence of God is so powerful and so amazingly mysterious that it is anywhere and everywhere all at the same time. God's presence is constantly around us, before us, behind us, above us, beneath us, and we can welcome the presence of God as we breathe in as well, to fill us. So I invite you to do that as we conclude this segment on the basics of Christian mindfulness. We'll give space for 5 deep breaths. As you're enjoying your breath, the gift of your body, and the presence of God, it's okay to sort of melt into this practice as you breathe, allowing God's presence and inviting God's presence into your awareness and into your body and into your breath. Amen. This is a great basics segment to begin with, to get into the posture of mindfulness and meditation. Eventually, you may not need this basics segment anymore, but for the first several times, I invite you to begin with it, and then go on to one of the other topics. Mindfulness when we are feeling restless, mindfulness when we are feeling grief, mindfulness when we are feeling anxiety, and so on. I hope that you enjoy and that this is a benefit for you in your spiritual walk. Many blessings, peace, shalom.